Don't hold back.
How hot is it in Spartanburg right now?
101 today.
Yeah, it was 102, 103 in the back.
Of course it was 102.
Dude, look at my stop, dude. Look at my story. I tagged Colton. I said, listen, little pork sword, you might, have a cute little video of me falling off a box, but you don't know shit about training in the heat, boy. I did that workout this morning. You were there. It felt hot as shit then, and it wasn't. And I went back and did this.
I wasn't there when you did it. You probably did it at sunrise, a nice and cool, balmy 87.
It was a nice and cool, balmy 87, but key emphasis on balmy, super humid. But I went back at like 5 and did a 21-minute EMOM. Nothing crazy. Minute 1, 200 meters run. Minute 2, 14 overhead squats, 95 pounds. Minute 3, 7-bar muscle ups. In the back lot,
you ran in the morning and the afternoon.
I'm getting my miles up, buddy.
The old, you want to know how to get better at a 5K? Just run a 5K all the time.
Listen, bro.
Professional coach, Taylor Self.
You like that? Here's the thing, dude. I am never going to take an L in a running workout. I'm just so ashamed that I wasn't prepared to run at semifinals. Not ashamed. It just eats me up inside. I don't know how to articulate that. I don't know how to articulate it, but my running's coming along quite nicely. I'll say that. Anyways, that workout was hard in the heat, and then we went and did a 5x3 overhead squat. So, I had a day on Monday too. Like it was a lot of what I did on Monday. So I've been kind of recovering from that all week. So we're going to talk about, you guys are here. You've seen the thumbnail. You know, we're about to talk about, we are about to talk about the first announced workout of the 2024 CrossFit Games, Chad 1000X. Couple things we're going to start with. I want to get incredibly uncomfortable to start. And
I have a question before we get uncomfortable.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you don't do 1,000 box step ups to a 20-inch box with a prescribed weight backpack on your back, are you doing Chad?
No. So you've answered the question, and we'll get to that. We'll just give you guys a brief outline of the show. We're going to get incredibly uncomfortable in a philosophical sense, and I am not sure where I stand on this bit of discussion. I'm really not. Just regular.
He's gonna figure out where he stands as he argues.
I am. I'm gonna figure out. No, it's not trust me, bro. You don't know where I'm about to go with this. None of you do. And look, I think it's an important thing to talk about. It makes me uncomfortable to talk about it, but everyone's fucking thinking it, and I want to talk about it. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about the implications of Chad. One, the order of events, like when would it make sense to perform this workout? What twists Dave Castro are talking about? Is any movement done 1,000 times appropriate at the CrossFit Games? We're going to talk about Hiller's post and how he changed my mind a little bit. And yeah, so let's start with this. Chad is a hero workout. To my knowledge, the only hero workout who was not killed in the line of duty. The only hero who wasn't killed in the line of duty. Chad committed suicide. And he left behind a wife and children. And there's some uncomfortable things about that like I want you guys in the comments. I want everyone's opinions because I want this to be an open discussion. Dave said that he knew Chad and that I don't know if he served with him or if he knew him very closely. I would imagine if you know a guy like that and you serve with him, you see him do some incredibly heroic shit. Just serving in that line of work, insane. On the other hand, it makes it, I don't just, like I said, I'm uncomfortable already. That's tough, man. Leaving behind a family and kids is tough. And yeah, I'm just also not sure why they announced that and talk about suicide awareness and they don't partner with any sort of charities or, I'm just, I'm curious on the whole topic. Like if we're going to talk about it, let's fucking talk about it. Yeah, I'm unsure on where I stand on the whole thing. It just seems like a whole fucked up situation, something that we're kind of bringing awareness to, but not really because no one's got the balls or the stones to talk about it on a public forum. Jonathan Ortega, do you think he's a coward for it? I think I've never committed suicide, obviously, so I wouldn't know. I do know that before I got sober, after my dad died, there was a long period of time where I'm not sure that I wanted to live. I definitely questioned it. My mom put me in a psych ward because she thought I was suicidal. Um, and obviously, what the fuck do I know? I have okay, no experience with it. I do know people who have committed suicide. Uh, my uncle's father committed suicide when he was a little kid. It seems like to me, I would put it this way: if my dad had committed suicide, I already was angry at him for dying, so fucking angry, and I would feel fucking abandoned, I guess. So for me to say, do I think he's a coward for it? I don't know that I would go that far because who the fuck knows what that guy went through? I sure as fuck don't. Um, but damn, I don't think suicide is heroic. Maybe everything he did when he was alive for sure heroic. I don't know. It's uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable. Let's keep it going. Who's got some virtue signaling? Yeah, I'm definitely not virtue signaling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a conversation you can have lightly or easily, for that matter. But like a good friend would do right now, I would fact check you first of all, and saying that he is not the only hero
Not
workout that
okay.
did not die on the line of duty. Kelly Brown, which was one of the workouts they did for the Service Cup, she died of cancer. She was
Okay,
at
okay,
level
okay.
1. So yeah, just trying to lighten the mood a little.
When people say
By
Kelly
telling you you're
Brown,
wrong.
when people say Kelly Brown, I think of the other Kelly
You
Brown, who was
you
also
think
a Navy SEAL and
you
who
think
did
Adam
die.
Brown. You think
Adam Brown,
Adam
that's
Brown.
right. Fuck, his
Yeah.
wife's name was Kelly. That's an amazing book, Fearless. How
But
much
yeah,
weight have you
I
put on, Taylor? You look fluffy compared to JR. Magnus, fuck off. Here we go.
I have the touch up my appearance on the highest level right now, Magnus. That must be
Okay.
why.
Touch up. Yeah, JR, everything he films, it's with a filter on. Taylor is dancing around a great point. Suicide is awful, but it is not heroic in any way. Quite the opposite. Tragic, yes. Heroic, no. That's my gut instinct on it.
I think that's a good way to put it. And I think the way you put it was very simple and eloquent. And obviously your situation, I think also, I don't know if anyone has more or less of a right to talk about stuff like this, but
No one does.
you've been through something where the death of a loved one, an immediate family member, you were really affected by, and the feelings and emotions you have are not those that other people can say, well, if I were that person, this is how I would feel. No, you don't know until you're in that situation.
Right. Jonathan Ortega, I asked because my friends who have committed suicide, the first one that did it, I was angry and thought he was a coward for it, but now there's a different thought pattern. I would ask if you're comfortable sharing that current thought pattern you have. I would say what frustrates me most is we talk about this subject, but we don't say, hey, this isn't the way out for you. Like if you're thinking about doing this, this isn't the right way out. Where I would think if we're raising suicide awareness, wouldn't that be the whole point? To say, hey, it's fucking bad. Don't do that. I mean, and not that that's how you say it, but if we're raising awareness on it, like let's not say, I don't know. I guess when we're talking about that specific thing, uh, the word hero has a particular connotation where it's something to be admired and commended, whereas suicide, in my mind, has a completely different connotation where it's something to not be definitely not be admired. It's for sure sad, but it's something you wish you would say. You wish the people who are considering it that they could understand or you could share with them how much people care about them and how it's not the right choice. It's in a sense it's quitting and those around you don't want you to quit. And how do you I don't know. It's tough. And this is another great point. He had TBI. And I mean, fuck Junior Seau is an example, not a military one, of someone who's really famous who had TBI and concussions from the NFL and committed suicide. And it's just a all around hard thing. And I just wish that it wouldn't be, oh, we're doing Chad, honor a hero. Well, let's fucking talk about it. If you're gonna fucking you know, if you're going to broach the subject, don't dip your toe in the water and then go dry off. I don't know. This is good. There's no right or wrong answer here, Imo. And I agree. I don't know that I'm right or right. Not trying to be right. I just would like to talk a bit on it. I don't know. Get uncomfortable.
No, it's good. I mean, uncomfortable conversations are usually the ones that need to be had. Thinking about the workout. Well, let's back up a second. You're on your phone, you get a text or you see the announcement. What is your initial gut reaction?
Sorry, I'm reading comments here. I just want to read this one. Jared Ellis, suicide sucks. I've had to arrive at the scene, unfortunately, too many times as a pastor. Mental illness can make the strongest people feel like leaving is the best scenario for everyone. Right, it sucks. It's not responsible, but when you're struggling there that bad, you're not thinking responsibly, for sure. Yes, Chad had TBI. Yeah, that's not the solution either, Gabe. I don't know what the solution is. Correct, Jared. In this case, I think hero part is because he was in the military, and you know, when you serve at that level, again, I would imagine anyone that served with him has seen him do some incredibly heroic stuff. All right. Let's see. I'm still kind of high. All right, we're gonna get out of this. Initial reaction.
Go more. Read more if there's more.
Here we go. A lot of times, suicidal thoughts are related to addiction, illness, and many times it's hard to find help treatment for addiction, even if you want the help. For sure. Who knows what it was in his case. I'm sure a lot of the PTSD and TBI had a lot to do with it. Yeah. That's the real I think here the solution is having uncomfortable conversations about it, and when somebody is going through that or having enough uncomfortable conversations about it so that it's not so taboo to talk about. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you're in that particular situation, or at least when I was, there was no way I was telling anyone, and I was going to therapy at the time. I for sure wasn't fucking telling my therapist that, because it was incredibly taboo. It was not okay to talk about. So having the uncomfortable conversation, that's like, if you're not ever having the conversation, you don't ever hear somebody say like, hey, if you have a wife and kids and you commit suicide, you're leaving them behind. If you don't ever hear that out of somebody's mouth, you might not even ever think of it like that. I don't know. Anyways, right. Men need to check in on their leaders. Leaders are constantly investing in others with no one investing in them. That's a good point. Okay. So when Chad was announced, my immediate thought was, are you fucking kidding me, dude? You are the bleep, 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 bleep. That's about everything that ran through my mind. I thought, no one's going to want to watch this. None of the athletes are going to want to do this.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, those initial reactions, do you think they came from a athlete's perspective or from a spectator, fan perspective?
All of the above. Actually, I would say mostly spectator, fan, analyst.
Mm-hmm.
Not as an athlete. As an athlete, I'm like, I would annihilate that workout.
It's just something I have to do. Okay, let's get prepared for it. Like that kind of mindset.
Chad, I've done it 4 times, and I know I'm very good at it. That being said, from like an analyst standpoint, I'm like, geez, there is a better way to test psychological tolerance. There's a better way to test the long time domain and endurance. There's a better way to test repetitive stress than 1,000 repetitions of something that is not cyclical or monostructural. It's not. It's just not. And I think it's going to beat their body up too much. Cave. Like, I just don't believe you. I can't believe someone when they say this, that they're excited to see a time of doing the exact same thing 1,000 times over and over again. I don't understand how you could possibly be excited for that.
When I first saw it, I didn't think there was going to be any variation. I didn't think there was going to be any twist because of all the hero workouts. You would have to go back and look, but I really think this is the only hero workout. The only hero workout, single modality, single movement. The only one that I know of. Because even there's a ton of couplets, and I think Clovis is what, like 1
mile run, burpee pull-ups,
10K run, or 150 burpee pull-up or something like that. But
Jerry's another close one where it's like
row and run. I think there's one.
Randy.
There you go. Good.
Wow.
Great. Very nice.
Jeremy. Unfucked.
There's a Griff, right? Is run forward, run backward. So maybe
Glenn
we
is
can
not a
count
hero,
that.
is it? It's just a girl benchmark.
Yeah, it's just like a benchmark. So yeah, like when I saw it, typically I see something and I start to just get like over analytical and say, okay, is there a twist? What are they going to do? This is one of the ones that I saw and it was like, if there was one workout that I would bet my mortgage on, that I would bet the gym on, that would never be programmed as a hero workout at the CrossFit Games, it was Chad.
Right.
That was it. And when I started watching some of the interviews, catching up on those, and he says a few things that, lead you to believe they're not going to be doing straight up, stand in one place, have a box 20 inches in a backpack, and step up and step down 1,000 times, that there's going to be something else with it. Then I thought, oh, okay, well, that's probably better from people are going to want to watch this. How do we make it more watchable? But then my snob, my CrossFit purist came out and was like, that's like someone telling me they're going to do 21-15-9 thruster and toes to bar and telling me they're going to do a version of Fran. No, you're not. You're just doing that workout. It's not Fran.
It's not at all. Right.
So if you're not doing 1,000 step ups and opening up at the top, wearing a ruck at the prescribed repetition, the prescribed loads, are you doing Chad? Because I don't think we need to call it Chad and put his picture up and put the workout description. The only way I think you can do it is if they did something like this, as terrible, as brutal as it sounds. Bike a mile, do Chad, bike a mile. Run a mile, do Chad, run a mile. Bike I don't know, bike 10,000 meters, step up 1,000 times. Like, so you're still doing the chunk work at one time. Then I would still say, okay, they did Chad.
Even if they split it in half, you wouldn't say, okay.
No.
I didn't think about that. What I thought about was something like the opening scene of the season 2 of Physical 100, where you've got all the athletes on the treadmill and it's like, okay, after 10 minutes, the people in first continue, cut. The massive problem with that, obviously, is that you have a select group of athletes that have a massive amount of volume accumulation and several that don't. But that would be the only twist in my mind that is a twist that would preserve it actually being Chad until you said what you said. Like you said, if you do anything different, if it's a step over, if it's rounds for time, it's not Chad. Now I wonder, like, it wouldn't make sense for them to do interval Chad. Like, that would, for the most part, kind of preserve everything, but that would just be stupid.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Like, you can do Murph thousands of different ways because the workout is partition as desired.
What if it were this?
So this workout doesn't leave a lot for that. Now, it doesn't say how you have to do the 1,000 steps.
It doesn't say.
Could be an interval. Could be.
What'd you say? Partition is desired. It does say that.
No. I'm saying,
okay, right.
People are thinking about, well, you can do. They did Murph 1 year straight through, and then they did Murph the next year. Does that mean they didn't do Murph? No. They did do Murph because the workout is partition is desired. So right. you can do that and still call it what it is.
Ooh.
I mean, I think Tyler Watkins is the first person that said this. Typically, what is Occam's razor, right? The simplest answer is usually the answer. is that that was right on, Tyler. Thank you.
Is Chad X like Latinx?
This is not what Tyler said. He said they're just going to step up stairs 1,000. They're going to do 1,000 stairs in the stadium, and that makes a lot of sense to me. But that's cool. But it's not Chad.
But that wouldn't be the twist because it says 45 pounds for guys, 35 for women, 20 inches. Mm-hmm. So the steps aren't 20 inches. This was an interesting point from Travis Burrow. I don't know how to do the voice thing. I don't have a soundboard, but Travis says the only twist I can see is 2 scores and a first score being your first time for the first 250 or something.
Shout out to Travis for putting something in the comments of Spin's post that got a lot of engagement. I never comment on any post, and it got me to comment. He said something about elimination style, where it's like musical chairs, right? And they all start with a box, but then after the first 100, there's one less. And then after the second 100, there's one less, and you're just eliminating people. And I think my comment was something along the lines of, rewarding fitness with more work. Cool.
Right. This is what I was getting at, Julia, the time cap essentially and cutting athletes. But the problem you have with that is you have a particular group of athletes that have done 1,000 reps, a particular group that have done 750, a group that's done 500. The only way that could make sense is if they drastically adjusted the scoring outcomes or table for this particular event where you were actually rewarded proportionally for doing all 1,000 and the people who did 250 were punished proportionally, meaning you got fucking 0 points. And if you won it, you got like 200. Like that would make it worth it potentially. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, so I'm not going to pretend to figure that unfuck that thing. But
I will say I am, since they're not going to do it exactly as written, since Dave has pretty much said that there are unknown details and there's twists. Well, it's not a very detailed thing. There's one thing, there's one movement, there's a weight and a height, and that's really it. So I am excited to see what the variation is.
this is a good idea. The pig on its side is 20 inches.
It is.
So that would be cool. 100 step ups, 2 flips, or 1 flip on the minute. I don't know. Every minute you do a particular flip and you step up. That, I mean,
It's almost like a death by.
that would be cool. That would be very, very, very cool. What if that is it? Could you see them doing something like that?
I don't think they're going to have that. Dave said on one of the interviews, and I'm going to allude to this a lot, and I don't remember which one. I think Ricky asked him, are you thinking we're going to go all in one heat, guys and girls? And he said, I'm not sure. I think we might have to split it into 2 heats, male and female. So no, I do not think they have 40 pigs of each weight. No.
They had what, 10 last year? They definitely have 40 of each weight, dude. I mean, maybe that's not the actual event. I'm just I'm curious.
I'm just thinking logistically too. And a lot of people have said surely they're not going to do that as the Friday Night Lights. I actually think that might be the Friday Night Lights.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure one of the Friday night events is a benchmark. Because remember, he was interviewing Hatfield.
Oh, okay.
He was interviewing Hatfield, and Hatfield was talking about being good at the girls, and then
no, he said event 1 will be good for you.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, and someone did ask him about when they were doing Chad, and he said it's not going to be the first event, but it's in a place of the weekend where everyone will have to do it. So I would assume that it's going to be either early Friday or late Thursday. But I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of field. That's a lot of space. I mean, the football stadium seems like a place that they could execute. I hope they don't, but I mean, it could.
That's not an event you want to do outside in Texas. I think if you're actually taking the heat into consideration, doing that workout in the heat is like that's the worst one you could do in the heat.
So this, like, he was, the conversation goes, and I actually think does a really good job with the interviews of like the games athlete stuff. And there was a conversation he had with someone that the marathon row was brought up, and like this is and he was talking about how, they did the half marathon and then he did the marathon row before he programmed it, and it was really upset because he didn't go as hard as he should have, and then he did it again, and he said he really enjoyed that event, like watching it. I mean, if he really enjoys watching a marathon row, 1,000 step ups would be one of the things that would be more exciting.
What I think you have to understand, or to give that enjoyment on Dave's part some context, is he was a Buds instructor, and a big part of Buds is Hell Week, and you're watching these guys do a very long and grueling endurance event that 1 hour or 1 10-minute element in and of itself is not that exciting, but watching them drop, and you watch the thought of quitting enter somebody's mind, and then this guy starts to think about quitting, and then that person starts to back off, and then the guys who are digging in and seeing that and feeding off it, you start to see that group start to separate. I think that kind of thing really excites Dave, and that's why he sees something like a marathon row as exciting, or something like Chad exciting. And I was thinking about this a lot. It's part of Dave's background. obviously it's incredibly noble, and it takes a crazy amount of stones and fortitude to be in that line of work and to accomplish just even going through that school. But does that style of, we're going to give you an event that's essentially just mentally not quitting, does that have a place at the games? I do believe testing psychological tolerance has a place at the games. But before you comment, 15 events over 4 days, intensity in every single event. It's relative, but you are pushing yourself to the fucking limit. The person who wins over that weekend displays an unreal amount of psychological tolerance. You can still test it in one workout, I think, that is not so boring to watch and potentially harmful to the athletes. Because it's the CrossFit Games, it's a sport. It's not a training camp designed to see who's going to quit on the field of battle. These guys aren't going to be overseas potentially dying next to each other. It's not like that, doesn't matter. People's lives aren't at stake.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're basically saying, is there a line and where is it when it comes to just testing grit and finding ways to test grit that are not something as long and simple and potentially damaging due to the overuse of specific muscle
This
groups
is
like this.
listen, it's not boring, and they all have plenty of time to condition their legs for it. Hurt the athletes ? I know both of you guys have probably done Chad. I've done it 4 times. And I don't think either of you understand the level that these athletes can push themselves to. And if I were doing Chad at the games, I wouldn't be able to walk for a week. And it really fucking annoyed me when Dave talked about doing Chad. Oh, I've done it a number of times, and every time I've done it, I've actually been okay. And that simply, Dave, is because you're not fucking fit enough to go hard enough to make that workout fucking rape your asshole. And neither are you Extra Sloppy, and neither are you Cave. So shut the fuck up. Love you guys. But I just know this. If I were dying for points in that workout, I wouldn't be walking for a week.
Yeah. The question is like, hey, we can fatigue the legs, we can fatigue the calves, we can fatigue the low back in a lot of other different ways. And I mean, the fact that those two guys said that they seem optimistic and positive about it, that they're looking forward to it, that's cool. I hope there's a lot of other people that feel that way.
I know there are a lot who aren't.
Sure. And I mean, that's cool. And after the debacle in quarterfinals, what's the most Dave thing you could think of? It's this.
This is, Andy
like
said,
it really is like,
Andy
so
said,
it's the most, oh really, you guys thought there was a problem with the step ups, watch this. Like
Andy,
that's the most the most CrossFit thing I could think of.
And Andy said this today at the gym. He's like, dude, since the beginning of CrossFit, it has been incredibly controversial, incredibly against the grain. And it's just so true to CrossFit's nature to do something like this, where it's incredibly polarizing. And I couldn't agree more. And part of me can't help but wonder if that's just because Dave thinks, fuck you. And I don't know. Who knows if he'll ever admit why, if he'll ever admit that that's a part of it. If it is, to me, that signifies that you don't have a place programming, because there is no room for ego and fuck you. It should be, does this test find the fittest athlete on earth? Is it the absolute best test of fitness? Is it going to grow the sport? Are the athletes going? Part of growing the sport is making athletes want to fucking do it. Dude, kids grow up dreaming of throwing a fucking touchdown pass in the NFL. Half of these athletes around the world are not thinking, awesome, they're doing Chad. They're thinking, what the fuck? And I'm not saying that in and of itself is why it shouldn't be programmed, but that just seems unnecessary. It seems unnecessary to program a workout that not everyone even, but even half the athletes hate. Think about Atlanta. Dumbest fucking workout ever as a final. So stupid. And half of the field at the games didn't try. They did not fucking try. Why would you program a workout that half the people aren't going to fucking try? It just is that kind of thing, to me, is a massive miss. And I'll finish with this. This is the last hardline fucking approach I'm going to take. when you say something like, I needed Boz to give me the space to do this because I was really excited about it. If I'm Boz, I'm laughing my way all the way to the bank, thinking, I don't know. I just wonder, is there anyone there with the balls to give the kind of feedback to say, hey, a lot of people think this is really fucking stupid, because it is. Great workout, amazing fundraiser workout. There are other ways to do it. And I don't think that the benefits or the positives of doing the workout outweigh the negatives. I just don't think that there's just too much argument for it not being a good event to do it.
Yeah. And I mean, as a coach, if you have an athlete, regardless of your emotions about it, regardless of your athlete's emotions about it, you maybe give them that first day and then you say, okay, this is what we got. We know there's probably going to be a variation, but we got to be prepared for it. So I'm really interested in this. And I know high level athletes, coaches won't divulge this kind of information, but let's say you have a tall athlete with a really, really, really good tank and a really, really high affinity for suffering.
Yellow host.
Do you just tell them, hey, dude, listen, you don't know how many events you're gonna get where you can win it. I know this is not the one that you would ideally look at and be like, I want them to program that because I know I can win it. Do you just tell them, hey, we have to go for it? Or even if you have an athlete that can be really, really good at it, do you say, listen, it's a long weekend, dude, and I think you need to be okay being like 10th through 20th and not destroying your body?
I am not the kind of athlete that looks at the bigger picture and says, I'm going to be smart about this. So I could just tell you right off the bat, if I can smell blood in the water, I'm going to fucking for sure attack. And this is a workout that I would absolutely destroy myself on. If I were JR and I were giving Jason advice, I would say you should win this fucking workout. One, not just because you could, but two, winning fucking Chad at the games is going to be iconic. And if you're looking for brand awareness and recognition, being able to say, I won fucking Chad and all these other guys are pussies, I would definitely want that. And the other thing about this is any athletes that are complaining about it, you really can't do it publicly, because even to me, who I can see where you're coming from, if you're an athlete and you're complaining, you sound like a bitch. And if you're an athlete who can win it, I mean, dude, I just, it's all about suffering. And I guess the two people that I think most about are Yellow Hoste for sure. And Jason. I don't think Brent has I don't know. I think Brent is too calculating to say, I want to take the risk.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's a attrition thing, I could kind of see your argument, but right. I would push back and say, in a workout with more and more reps, who's the one person you think about that can, to the second, game plan something with paces and with number of reps per second where they'll actually stick to it and execute it and win it? It would be Brent.
This is so I see where both these guys are coming from. I think they're talking about programming in terms of marketing for the sport, and that is a huge part of it. Workouts that are cool and exciting and are like, wow, I've never seen that before. Why did CrossFit explode in the first place? It's because they were publishing workouts on main site that people could never have fathomed before. Where is that? Where is that? And whoever's programming main site, that should go into consideration of your programming. You fucking celebrities.
Last thing, I know we're already 35 minutes in. From a programming standpoint, this is an interesting question. A lot of times people,
it wasn't a step up, Magnus. I have to interrupt you. It was a fucking jump up, step down. So before you open your mouth and let me defecate in there, just keep that thing closed. Shut up. Anyways, sorry.
You don't think he was talking about will we see a replay of? You think he was trying to poke you? He wasn't talking about like will we see a bunch of no reps on this?
Oh, I don't know. Anytime Magnus comments, I take it personally. So you're probably right.
Peace and love, Magnus. Do you think that if you're adding anything to it, it makes it any better? So you have 1,000 box step ups, and one option is just to do it straight through. We know they're probably not going to do that because there's some kind of twist. But if you're already doing 1,000 box step ups, is doing anything to break it up, whether it's a jog, whether it's a pig flip, whether it's a bike, does that make it any better and easier on the body, or does it make it worse?
Dude, the way you thought about it, but 1 mile bike, Chad, 1 mile bike or run, that would make it 10 times worse. Running a mile hard after Chad? Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah, and I'm just throwing out random
I
movements, but I'm
know.
saying, a lot of people are like, well, if you break Murph up into rounds, it doesn't crush you as bad. And a lot of people will say, well, it does if you can do all that stuff unbroken.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and you can go faster. You
Right. So
get
that's what
more
I'm saying is like,
intensity.
is doing 10 rounds of 100 step ups with something in between going to make it any better on the body? That's just an interesting question versus just
So
doing
what he
1,000
said,
straight.
right? He was like, to alleviate concerns. And I was thinking when he said concerns that would come from doing a workout like that, it would be the toll that it takes on your body. That's what I would like to think. I don't think that's what Dave's thinking. I think the concerns of doing a workout like that is who's going to just mail it in and who's going to actually give it intensity and who is that going to punish across the weekend and who will it not.
You think the distance between 2 stadium steps could be 20 inches where they'd have to skip a step every time?
Possible, but I how are you going to count?
Yeah.
Run next to them with a fucking clicker?
Oh, no, you missed one. Go back. Yeah.
Yeah, like how do you no shot. I mean, that would be cool. I don't think so. Where is this comment? Oh, okay. Not baller. The $3,000 to win the event is not baller at all, and neither would donating it.
What the rest of the comments say? Patrick's
And if you win it and donate that money
Thursday
to charity,
night, first son of the lights, it's $3K for winning. Oh, how baller would it be if someone donated it?
not baller. I mean, donating to charities is great, but I don't think
only if you're someone that already makes so much money that when you have charitable donations, you can actually make more money that way.
Yeah. Jason better win it for America. I agree. And America needs to win the workout on both sides. Okay. You have about 8 hours or more to recover for Friday.
Taylor, what do you think about them?
This is the dumbest comment ever. Love you, Patrick.
What do you think about it just being a step over?
It's not Chad.
So that's all you think? Like, how much faster do you
Chad
think
at all?
Like, how many? Like, do you think it's actually? Do you think having to come to extension is worse on the body, or do you think being hunched over in that hinged position for hundreds of reps is worse on the body?
I think probably step over.
It's a lot easier to judge, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I don't know that the judging is his concern either. I have no idea what his fucking concern is. Look, anytime you get your hopes up with Dave, I am let down. When I get my hopes up with Dave, I'm let down. When I keep my hopes in check and we find out the boss is programming like quarterfinals, wow, dude, I was blown away. Absolutely blown away.
Yeah, now that we know, I mean, I'd like to give him just a bunch of love that he and the team, he said, I think, programmed quarterfinals and semifinals, and I thought they were awesome.
They were freaking incredible.
And I think the team events will be awesome because clearly he's been given full reign with the team stuff.
So what also shocks me is that you would allow Boz in the team to. We don't know who the team is, so I'm just doing air quotes because I want to freaking suck Boz because I don't know who else is on the team. Chuck, Todd Whitman, no idea. But you do quarterfinals and semifinals, and then you just kick them to the curb for the games. No input. That's crazy to me, dude. That's
I think no input is strong. I'm sure there's been a lot of input. And I'm sure there was a lot of input from Dave on the quarterfinals and semifinals, and I'm sure that he's still getting input from his team on the games. Now, I'm not saying at the end of the day he doesn't just say, "Well, I know we disagree, but it doesn't matter because this is what I want to do." I'm sure.
I don't think he's getting the disagreement when he says something like, "I told Boz I needed the space." To me, that says, "Don't give me feedback. I know what I want to do. I know you're not going to like it.
I don't think that's what
100%. 100%.
I need the space means. I think it's more just like
that sounds like something a slut says to a great guy. Boz is a great guy.
Just let me cook. Let me get in the kitchen and cook. There's not enough room for 2 chefs. I'll let you know when I'll let you know when I need to know whether or not I need more pepper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what he's
let me get in there and cook.
He's cooking fucking meatloaf with a bunch of ground up Oscar Mayer wieners, dude. That's what he's making for dinner, dude. And I'm going to shit it out. It's just, I'm sorry. Don't revoke. We haven't even gotten our media credentials approved. Please take into consideration that I'm highly emotional, and it's only because I love CrossFit so much. Dave is a great guy. I have a ton of respect for him. Love you, Dave. And look, I know that I say a lot of things that you would absolutely eviscerate me for, and that's fine. I'm wrong all the time. I'm wrong all the time. Extra sloppy, Taylor's gay. I don't see what that has to do with anything. Ha 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 ha. I was right. Magnus was shitting on me. I could hear HQ saying mental health is a hot topic. This would get a lot of views and coverage and resonate with people. Oh, yep. Let's see what else.
No, that is a really good point that you brought up.
What's more likely? Chad is the stadium workout or Taylor's the next main site guest programmer? Let me tell you.
Stadium 100%.
The day that they let me program for main site is the day that CrossFit comes back from the dead. I'll just say that. The deal, Sergeant. The weight should be an ammo can and has to be shouldered. The athletes would hate it, but since CrossFit went woke, that would be considered triggering. See if they did something like that, where this is my problem with it. It's like you're sitting right in the middle of the fence and you got one testicle on one side and the other testy on the other side. And this side is woke and this side is fuck you. And if they would just jump all the way over the fence and say fuck you and make them carry an ammo can, I would love that. I made people run with a dumbbell at my competition and they had to basically climb up a freaking 90-degree hill with it. Shit like that I love. Ricky will go hard. Yeah, but I think for whatever reason, I see Yellow Hoste as someone who's like, after his interview with Savon, I thought that I thought a lot more highly of Yella. First 200 for
You know, it's going to be interesting in a couple hours when Sevon does the update show and he gets put in the position where he can either be as vocal as he has been about Chad being the dumbest workout ever, or if he's gonna temper all those emotions because Dave programmed it for the games.
Let's see. I do think Boz's programming is more creative and innovative than Dave's. I think Dave has hit some massive home runs, but I think if you look across the board, to me, it's like Dave workout, Dave workout, Dave workout, Dave workout, Dave workout, Dave workout. And Boz, I think, is more consistently here. And I would even say Boz has some home runs where like, oh shit, that's super cool. Shuttle to overhead, sick fucking workout at the games. A lot of the biking workouts I liked.
It's interesting that Dave has asked the athletes he's interviewed about a lot of different things, but common denominators are benchmarks and times, swimming and biking. You think they're going to actual bike again 3 years in a row?
He's asking athletes a lot about it in the interviews.
Mm-hmm. And not just like do you do it, but like how do you feel about it? Like how do you feel about being in competition?
Wow, making you hungry talking about blended up pureed Oscar Mayer Franks. I like biking a lot, and I've been doing it way more, not on an erg, like outdoor biking in workouts and just for like zone 2. I don't ever sit on a fucking bike or can bore myself. I go to the Whitewater Center and I freaking yeet it for about 2 hours. I get about this much air.
Yay or nay, they're biking at the games this year.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Do you think there could be a bike swim workout? There's never been a bike swim.
I say yay, they're biking. And I would murder everyone in a bike swim.
I didn't ask if you would murder everyone. Just ask if you thought. I know you think you can murder everyone on every workout.
I also would have murdered Jason and Brooke this weekend if I would have gotten the invite, but I didn't. It's all good. HWPO thing, I get it.
Yeah, people asked if I told Taylor about it or if he was going to come do it. I said, first of all, if I told Taylor about it, I know the first thing he would say, and it wouldn't be a yes or a no or anything other than I would destroy them. That's what he would send. And then, and then shortly after that would be something along the lines of, no, dude, I got way too much program, dude. I'm not coming down there. So no, it was not, Taylor didn't need to be consulted. It was just like, hey, Brooke's coming for a little camp for 3 days. Okay, cool. And that was that.
Oh shit, this is true. Annette is going to be adjusting box heights according to athlete height for equity purposes. Wow, I'm going to get in trouble for reading that comment. I will say this. I like Chad in the sense that I know if I were there, no one would beat me. And I just have to say, guys, a lot of you games athletes I have an insane amount of respect for.
Would you withdraw after that event though?
I probably would have to. That's what I feel. I feel like Dave is saying fuck you to everyone by programming this. And the reason I like it for some reasons and I hate it for that reason. There's no place for that if you're programming the CrossFit Games. You don't do things as a fuck you. That's not, I can't get on board with that.
What about if is Spin in the comments? He usually knows stuff like this right away. I'm sure there's gonna be other people in the comment. Is Chad one of the app workouts that you can put on the CrossFit Games app? Your time.
Who do I have to suck off? I will suck anyone. Please give me the credential.
Hey, did you hear my question?
I'm making JR laugh.
Remember when a lot of people said that they were doing stuff like Helen 5K run so people would fill up their data in the app? Isn't Chad in there?
Yeah.
Isn't Chad in the profile as you can put your time in there for?
That's cool. I think so. I don't know.
They're just continuing to check off the stuff that it does make you wonder. It has become a thing that most people do on Veterans Day. Is it just another one of those, hey, the community's done this. Hey, they can compare to the games athletes. Hey, this shows you that even though workouts we do in the community are ones that they can do at the games.
But if there's a twist, they can't. So I don't think it's that much of a twist. To be honest, guys, this is what my genuine guess on the twist is. As soon as he said a twist, the first thing that entered my mind was, oh, the twist is going to be advance your box every 100 reps. That's the twist. It's on the field, and every fucking 100 reps, you move your box 10 yards. Like I honestly think that's what it is. Oscar Mayer Meatloaf, new band name. I call it OMM. That'd be a cool. I like that. What else? Oh, swim, wall climb. A sprint try would be super cool. Carlos Ernesto FZ. Let's see. I don't think Spin's here. I'm looking for him.
Someone else can look in the app real quick. He usually knows stuff like that off the top of his head. Because I think last year he was one of the first people that said, they're doing max clean and jerk. They're doing a variation. Remember when Boz released the Venn diagrams and it was like, oh, you've got your CrossFit in the middle. You've got your single modality here. You've got your single modality here. You've got Helen in the middle, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
Jay Hance, new to CrossFit. When did CrossFit go woke? Let me break the timeline down here. Around 2019, when everyone and their brother was calling everything racist, Greg Glassman made a tweet about the way the administration was handling the coronavirus pandemic, calling it COVID-19. And he made a tweet saying it's Floyd-19, basically saying the way they are handling the COVID-19 pandemic is about as bad as the way they're handling the Floyd issue. And everyone called him racist. And to my knowledge, if you actually read that tweet, there's nothing that says I'm better. I think I'm better than black people or black people are less than me in that tweet. So I don't know. And if that's not the classical definition of racism, unfuck me in the comments. But I don't think Dave is racist at all. But everyone called him racist and they all hated him. They're all like, resign, resign, resign. Finally, he sold the fucking company for a fuckload of money. Private equity bought it and boom, woke, splat the woke juice all over the CrossFit windshield. And here we are. And there are some voices that are trying to unwokeify it. Sevon is one. I'm just riding his little coattail. I have like my hand on his pocket. And he's leading me around. I'm like, Daddy, wait. JR's on his phone.
Yes, I was.
Sorry.
I knew that was going to take a second.
Oh, Spin is camping in East Tennessee. You see with Morgan Wallen.
So like Johnson City. What's up?
Your guys' chat isn't synced up. I know I'm 3 minutes behind, Travis, because you guys won't fucking stop commenting. I'm trying to read every comment.
Is it the same like 8 people commenting?
These nuts. It's a lot of people commenting. Where's Trish? When Greg fired Russell Berger was when CrossFit went woke. Trish, what the fuck do you know about Russell Berger? And if you don't confirm your identity, I'll never read a comment from you again. I do rate slow, mama. All right, we're 50 minutes in. What do you guys think? What's the next announced workout going to be?
He said on an interview that I listened to today, there'd be a steady trickle of workouts coming out from now on without all the details, of course. And he also said, we're going to release more stuff this year than we have in years past. He's like, some years we release a lot, some years we don't release much, but I think releasing gets a lot of buzz. And so we're going to release more this year, which I think is good.
Do you think they'll repeat Amanda 45 in the first night in the Coliseum Thursday evening, new venue?
My prediction and it has been, was just new venue, new version of Amanda. So I don't think they would repeat it. My thought was that they were going to do the seated L strict muscle up that the teams did last year to get in the support position, and it was going to be that with either just 135 or with 185. But yeah, that was going to be the way that they would do strict muscle ups and not the regionals Nate way.
Trish, I am so. What did Russell Berger do to get fired, Trish? She said he needs to take a big dose of shut the fuck up and hide out for a while. It's sad, Glassman said in an interview. We do so much good work with such pure hearts. To have some zealot in his off time do something this stupid, we're all upset.
I remember that when that happened.
Who said that stuff?
Those are Greg's quotes, I believe.
Okay, but what was he saying it about?
Russell.
What did Russell do?
I don't remember. You have to look into that.
Trish. What did Russell do?
That'd be a good question for Sevon. He probably knows.
Oh, they fired Russell Berger because he defended an affiliate owner for not wanting a gay pride event at his gym. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. That's a little too uncomfortable for me, brother.
All right, dude. I gotta get off.
All right. See you, bro.
Thanks, guys.
Danny S is your freak. What? No.